Hi guys, so we have another e-bike to review. Clearly they've had a look at some of the reviews we've done on it and thought we'd do a good job. Well, I think we do a good job, but we have another e-bike. This one is an ESKUTE. Now, it's just arrived and you can see the kind of damage they get, okay? Well, I mean, you know, that's just parcels, isn't it? You know, I'm hesitant because I like the guys who deliver them, but they don't treat them with the deepest of respect. And quite often, these big packages, they'll come a bit knocked about and a bit damaged, and that's exactly what's happened here. Now, the thing is, if they've thought about that and stuffed in a load of packaging inside there, the bike's going to be fine. If they haven't thought about it, it's going to be damaged, and of course, that's going to be a pain in the neck. So, let's get it out, have a look at it, and see what kind of damage the bike actually got, although the box got a bit knocked about. Okay, probably pedals and charger. There was quite a lot of packaging in here, so it seems to have been protected and it still looks in nice condition. There's going to be minimal assembly of this. I can see one of the wheels is off, for example. We're obviously missing the handlebars here. So there's a little bit of putting it together, but not that much. And just right now, it looks like it's at least survived the journey. So we'll put this together, have a better look at it. But already, I mean, these here, the rims of the wheels, they are lovely actually. They're quite exciting. So let's get this together. Okay, so the build quality actually is pretty good. I mean, there was a lot of wrap packaging on it, of course, to protect it, and we haven't done anything with it apart from take it out of the box. You see the basic bicycle there. We've got to put the front wheel on. We've got to put the handlebars on. The fenders arrive actually as a little adjustable fender set, which is down the bottom there. So it doesn't look like that much in order to get this thing going. And I actually think this is kind of cute, actually. So very often you are supplied with the spanners, but quite a lot of the time they're just a bit of pressed out steel. Here we've actually got a little set of spanners there, which is cute, hey? And they look like reasonable spanner sets. So we have a reasonable spanner set. The manual itself, it's quite nice, it's well printed. We don't get those usual things that you get with translated manuals. It reads quite nicely. This is supplied obviously for the EU market. So our rear motor there is a 48 volt 250 watt motor, which is printed on the outside. And remember, in England you have to have the motor printed on the outside of what the motor capability is. So it'll be set up without a doubt for pedal assist only here in the UK. But this is kind of cute actually. I like this. They supply a throttle and a shortened handle so that you can clearly put throttle control on it. In the UK, if you put throttle control on it, you're supposed to restrict the speed. Well, we'll have a look at that, but we can clearly do that, and that's really interesting and really cute. So clearly it's meant for an international sale, and I'm guessing they changed the motor around for anything outside of the EU. But on the whole, very good first impression. Obviously, we've got to have a read of the manual, we've got to put the stuff together. I'm not going to go through that because it's pretty easy, hey? I mean, stuff the handlebars in here and tighten them down. This is a quick release wheel. It's got a retaining bolt in the wheel to keep the forks nicely separated. They have a strong shock suspension here, which has got a suspension lock on it. So obviously, depending on your terrain, you can either lock the suspension off or you can put a soft suspension on, which is a nice little feature actually. This is clearly more of a rugged e-bike, so this should be able to cope with a bit more off-road, which is cool. Anyway, let's put these bits in. Okay, I mean, it was really intuitive to put it together. It was no problem at all, and the tools supplied were more than enough to be able to do it. I've taken the battery out. It is a 36 volt, 12.5 amp hour, 450 watt hour battery. So I guess we'd get something like 40 miles assist, maybe 60 miles. Not really sure, but we're going to find out, of course, because we're going to run it and find out what we get from this battery. Now I've taken it out to charge it. Clearly you can charge it in, you can charge it out. It's recommended that if you're not using this for a month or so, you keep it at about a 40 to 60% charge level out of the bike. Put it somewhere dry, like in your garage or something like that, and keep it at that charge level. We're just going to charge it out and see. Now the controller here is a KD21C, and if you remember the last controller we looked at was an 866. So we're going to have a look at the controller. It comes with this little controller manual, which is fantastic, because that will help us get behind the nitty-gritty of this thing, and we'll see what the controller does and whether we can hack that controller to do what we want it to do, for educational purposes, obviously. Anyway, we'll get this charged, and then we'll give it a ride around. Now, we haven't actually set the derailleur yet. I'm just assuming at this stage the derailleur is fine. We may have to do a little bit of derailleur setting as well, but I mean, that's a piece of cake. It's a couple of screws, obviously, and sometimes a twist at the top end there, just to neaten it up between each gear change. So we'll have a look at the derailleur later. The main thing now is just to charge this battery. Okay, so that's it together. We've charged the battery, and I'm going to give it a spin round the car park. Now, we do have this KBY DISP controller, and we'll be looking at that separately, because of course I've already played with the controller, and there's quite a few little settings that are different. However, I have put the throttle on for information and education only in the UK. Of course, we're going to remove the throttle. Then I put the throttle on, we're in a car park, and I put it under throttle control, give it a zip around and see what happens. Okay, it's nice, it's responsive. Loving these forks, actually. I've turned the suspension on, so I've unlocked it. So we've got a nice bit of suspension going on there. Good sound and a solid feel. However, it's probably a bit more of a young man's bike. Luke!
Hello.
Here you go, mate.
Oh, is it my turn?
Well, I think this is much more your kind of thing.
Oh, cool. Oh, mate. Yeah, no, that does feel quite nice, actually, I have to admit. Yeah, nice and responsive, I think. Right, give it a go.
Go for it, mate.
Oh, man, that's really nice.
Oh.
Woo, I like that, look.
Okay, so my immediate thoughts are obviously a bit more of a rugged bike, this one, a bit more adventurous, a bit more sporty, so I think we're going to take this off-road a little bit and give it a go, see how we can do some trials on it. We, of course, will do another video on this controller and what we can actually do to hack that controller. Oh no, let me rephrase that. What we can do to understand that controller better. Anyway, keep an eye out on the playlist. It will be in its own playlist. We'll be doing a few of them as we explore it. As you know, in these reviews, we don't just unbox the damn thing and go, there's a bike, isn't it got a pretty colour? We do like to use it and do some videos on how we're actually using it and what our experiences of using it are. And my immediate thought about the ESKUTE is very much a younger man's game. I had a bit of a problem getting my leg over there, given my arthritis. Hopped straight on, and I think he was going to do a wheelie, apart from the fact he worried about his forehead, because I've seen him do wheelies before. He comes straight off most of the time. Anyway, keep an eye.
It's the thought that counts, mate.
It is. Keep an eye on the playlist. We'll explore this a bit more fully. And thank you very much for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.